Breaking news. Former U.S. Attorney General Janet Reno has died. Reno was the first woman to serve as the country's top lawyer during President Bill Clinton's administration. Her career was filled with several controversies, including the deadly raid on the Branch Davidian compound in Waco back in 1993 and the Elian Gonzalez custody battle in 2000. Reno's goddaughter says she passed away from complications related to Parkinson's disease. Janet Reno was 78 years old.
We have breaking news coming out of South Nashville this morning. Two gunmen still on the run. They apparently held up a gas station overnight. News Channel 5's Dan Kennedy has been on the scene for us all morning long there at that Circle K. And Dan, we do have some surveillance pictures you've been showing us this morning.
Yes, Steve, police are very hopeful surveillance pictures, maybe forensics, will help play key roles in catching the two guys that hit this Circle K about 3:30 this morning. We've been keeping you updated on Twitter. Here are the latest pictures we have. Surveillance from inside the store shows this is the first gunman who walked in. Notice he's not wearing gloves, so they were dusting for fingerprints earlier on the door. His second buddy walks in. He is wearing gloves. Both of them armed. This guy is stockier build, both with those semi-automatic handguns, both with their faces covered and in gray hoodies. Again, all this happening about 3:30 this morning at the Circle K, 2200 block of Nolensville Pike. When police first got called out here, they were talking to the clerk. He was the only person inside the store at the time. There were no customers, but the clerk tells police these two guys stormed the store and demanded cash and cigarettes. He gave both cash and cigarettes to these two gunmen. They then walked out and left in a getaway car that was parked in a nearby street, on a side street. Was not captured on surveillance, so we don't know what kind of car they're in, but you saw the pictures of those two guys. If you know who they are, 615-74-CRIME is the number to call. The clerk that was robbed this morning tells police that this is not his first time being robbed, working the night shift here. In fact, we've covered several instances at this station before. Now, Metro Nashville Police in the South Precinct hoping for any help to catch these robbers. Reporting live in South Nashville, Dan Kennedy, News Channel 5.
All right, Dan, thanks so much. We now know the names of those 3 Fort Campbell soldiers that were killed in Jordan. The Department of Defense has given us the names: Staff Sergeant Kevin McEnroe, Staff Sergeant Matthew Llewellyn, and Staff Sergeant James Moriarty. All died Friday when their convoy came under heavy fire. Military officials are investigating. All 3 were members of the 5th Special Forces Group.
New this morning, 2 armed robbers are on the run after an incident near a fast food restaurant. Police tell us that a Zaxby's employee was robbed at gunpoint on Mount View Road during his break. The thieves got away with some of his personal belongings, but fortunately he wasn't hurt. If you know anything about this, call Crime Stoppers 615-74-CRIME. And distracted driving may be to blame for a crash that sent a child to the hospital in South Nashville. It happened on Eazell Road at Melmac Drive around midnight. Officers say the driver crashed into a wall. Her 4-year-old grandchild was in the car with her and was not in a car seat. The child was taken to Vanderbilt with minor injuries. The driver was issued a citation. And a man on the TBI's top 10 most wanted is behind bars this morning. Authorities say Brandon Isabel turned himself into the Murray County Jail yesterday. He was added to the most wanted list on Friday and is facing rape, robbery, and kidnapping charges.
A man is recovering this morning after he was shot in the head while driving. Police say it happened yesterday morning on Bell Road in Antioch. The victim inside a white car when someone in another car starts shooting. Police say the victim is going to be all right. They're looking for a black sedan with scratches on the side. If you know anything about this, call Crime Stoppers 615-74-CRIME. And also, a Kentucky sheriff's deputy is recovering this morning after being dragged by a car during a traffic stop. Deputy Chris Renier with the Butler County Sheriff's Department pulled a guy named Randy Clark Jr. over near Morgantown. Clark began firing at the deputy and then hitting the gas, dragging Deputy Renier. Renier grabbed his gun and started shooting. Clark was hit and killed. The deputy went to the hospital because he was dragged by the car with non-life-threatening injuries. Amy?
Investigators are trying to figure out what caused a large house fire. The vacant home burned to the ground yesterday morning on 4th Avenue South. When crews arrived on scene, flames were shooting about 100 feet into the air. The home collapsed, and the fire also damaged some cars and a boat at a neighboring body shop. Since the house was empty and there was no electricity, the chief is calling this fire suspicious. And hard to believe, but tomorrow, it's finally here, Election Day.
Yeah, election 2016 finally arriving. Final preps in Davidson County underway right now. Precinct officers picked up electronic poll books and other supplies needed for the 160 voting locations throughout Davidson County over the weekend. From there, they'll be going to their designated locations and gearing up for tomorrow. One organizer says it is organized chaos.
It's kind of like the Super Bowl of elections for us. You know, a lot of preparation has gone into this, and a lot of people will be happy that it's over. A little break to take a rest, but I think it'll be a big event for all of Davidson County.
Big event late Tuesday night. All the supplies will be collected and returned. Polls are open tomorrow morning starting at 7 a.m. and then they'll close at 7 p.m. So we are 24 hours away from the polls being open. Remember to bring your photo ID when you go to vote. You'll need that.